Jay, so day two of on ice session, game tomorrow. How are the boys feeling right now?
I think they're probably pretty tired after a tough practice today. Yesterday's focus was from the red line to the other team's end, and today's focus was from the red line to back to our end. So there was a lot of competing going on. They got up and down the rink pretty well, but it wasn't an easy practice, and they worked their way through it and have a good framework for what we need to do come Sunday afternoon.
Going up against a rookie squad, how does a head coach or even the rest of the group kind of prepare for a matchup like that?
Well, one of the messages we gave them in our opening meeting, along with showing what they had, that's the most important thing was. But the next thing was not to overthink things. We know that we're not going to be perfect on day 3 of a rookie camp. It's more about the effort and will to do things right. We'll correct the mistakes on the bench or in between periods or the next day. It's not about that. It's about the effort part of things. We've given them a basic framework of how we want to play the game, and we'll continue to grow that every day.
Are guys at different points in their careers in terms of concepts and mental development, for lack of a better term?
I think that's a really good point. I think the players that have been exposed to us through development camps, or even some of them, this isn't their first training camp, so they have some experience with our language, some of the ideas of the way we want to play the game. That said, there's some new things that we've introduced this year, and it's exciting to see these young players put them into place. I think older players by nature, players that have some professional experience, have a little polish to their game. Just based on their experience level.
Jay, Benson hasn't been able to practice. You were here. Were you probably thinking, is this guy ever going to see the ice? So, what do you see from him? It's a little early, but what does he look like?
Matty, I would say that I've seen Benson for a lot of the summertime come in and work out and feel good about himself, just because he's healthy. His health has been the thing that he's concentrated on. I think he had a really good season last year, finished the season well, and the smile on his face, just knowing that he can come in and fully participate in all the testing and fully participate in all the on-ice action is very rewarding to see, because he put a lot of hard work in.
It's difficult to come to camps and just sit and watch
100,
for 2 years.
100.
You say, oh, practice.
Yeah, 100.
That was the second round draft. That's all he was watching.
100%. The good thing about him as a person, as a player, is that he's very cerebral. So even though he wasn't participating in camps past, he still was exposed to the concepts, how we wanted to play the game. That gives him a little bit of a leg up on some people that this is all new to. But I think the biggest thing with him is he's got to feel real good about his health situation. He's got to feel good about the work he put in this summer, and I know he scored really well on his testing too.
He says he's a passer who plays wing, unlike a lot of guys who are looking to shoot. Do you see that with him? Or he says, I tend to not look to the past, but I'm a playmaker. I've always been that. Always had way more assists.
Yeah, these are my first 2 days of actually being exposed to him. So I see a player that has worked on his speed and quickness, and his skating has looked pretty good. I see a guy that can make some plays in the offensive zone, has the vision to find the open man. And, that said, I know that he's put up some good numbers scoring-wise as well.
Because when Hemsky was here, it was the same thing. He says, keep expecting him to score 40 goals. You watch me play. I'm a passer.
Some players, that's an innate skill for them. And
I'm not a center. I just happen to be playing the wing.
Yeah. I think there's a spot for distributors in any position, and for him, it's a skill and one of his strengths. And I know that through the rest of rookie camp, we'll see that even more often.
How do you decide who's playing with who in these lines? What are you looking for?
For us, we try and find players that are complementing each other. Players bring different attributes to the table. It's an inexact science, I can tell you that. It's certainly nothing is set in stone. I think you'll see some movement as we go forward here. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to play, and some players have it in their bag that they can play multiple positions. So we're going to see them and put them in situations where they can show what they can do, so that they feel good about their opportunity in rookie camp.
Jay, how do you temper some of the nerves for the guys that haven't experienced this yet?
Well, I think going back to our opening meeting that first night, we laid it on the table that, you know what, the most important thing is their effort and will, not to be pressured up, not to overthink things or be worried about concepts or systems. We've taken that off the table. We've put our focus on the will to do things correctly and the ability to adjust if a mistake is made, to learn from it and go from there. So for us, some of the younger players whose camp, this is their first camp, we want to make sure it's an environment that we're encouraging. Let them know that mistakes will be made, that it's not the end of the world, but we're going to work our hardest to correct them.
Gilbert Marody led the Big Ten in scoring, played for a high-profile program in Michigan. He seems pretty confident that he can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I think his experience in Bakersfield at the end of the year really helped him. He learned what it took to play in a man's league, and not only did he play, but he did pretty well as by all the reports that I've received. As a person, he's a pretty confident, intellectual type guy that takes pride in his preparation, not only physically but mentally. He's been impressive through the first 2 days.